Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great start and midday for some of you. And we're always happy to come on and do a session. And let's say hello to a few friends here. And before we get on with our topic, Kevin, how are you? Andrea, Niagara Falls, good to have you on with us. Jen, nice to be on. Rosa, Wendy from Fairmont Hot Springs, British Columbia. Serpa, how are you? Nick from our staff. Annette, Rita, Maryland, PEI. Jeanette, how you doing? Terry, how is you? Catherine, Parksville, British Columbia. Teresa, Wendy from Markham. Donna, Park Hill. Kristen, and Leela. Nice to have you on with us. Deb from Cambridge. Gertie, how are you? Brian, Poland Spring, Maine, how are you? And I missed one. Lorraine, how are you? Shelley from Kansas. Ronald from, Helen, Maria and Marie. Wanda, Virginia. Marla, Indiana. Sherry from Fergus. Sharon from Wyoming. Luella, West Tennessee. Gillian, sunny Calgary. Another Donna. Dale, how are you this afternoon? Claudia from Brossard. Terry, how are you? Ellen from Scarborough. Jean, or Jean, I'm thinking Jean. And someone from Oakville, I missed it. Georgie, Ron from Northern Idaho. Linda, Beth, good afternoon. Gretchen, Pasadena, California. Claudette from Sarnia. Sheila, how are you? Lorraine, Lynn, Julie, Bowmanville. Danny, thanks for coming on, guys. We appreciate it. Stephanie from sunny Georgia. And Zhang, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming on. Okay, now, this study, I don't know if it was more of a study or a survey, came out of JAMA, the American Journal of the American Medical Association, found women don't understand breast cancer. Okay? They don't understand really the cause of breast cancer. And I don't even know if the Journal of American Medical Association does. But here's what they said, and we'll unpack this a little wee bit this afternoon. It says that women don't understand. They think, mistakenly, that genetics is the biggest factor in breast cancer. So when they did their survey, they found that women weren't too concerned if they didn't have anybody in the family that had previously had breast cancer. And JAMA said, of course, they're wrong. And of course, I've been saying that forever. Genetics might load the gun, but they don't pull the trigger. And I'm not dismissing genetics, but I've always said this, and this is for 40 years, even more. I've been saying genetics is 5%, 95% is lifestyle. And the study says one of the things that women don't understand, is the significance of dense breast tissue. Dense breast tissue. And I guess for JAMA, it surprised them that women didn't even think of that as being a factor. It is a factor. And I think it's a big factor. I'll tell you why, because they didn't go into this in JAMA, but I go into it a lot when I talk about estrogen dominance, because estrogen dominance is huge factor today in our society. And I've sort of said this, probably alone when I say it, that estrogen combined with insulin are two hormones that want to give you breast cancer. Okay? Let's start with estrogen. What is estrogen? Makes you a woman, and makes a man a woman today, a woman too. I know I'm not supposed to say that anymore. I don't care. Women are women and men are men. But a lot of men have trouble with estrogen today. And we'll get into that in a minute. Estrogen dominance, it is a major factor in breast cancer. It's a major factor, of course, in PMS. It's a major factor in menstrual health. It's a major factor in ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, any female cancer, and I believe it's a major factor even in men prostate cancer. Okay? Because men are supposed to have high testosterone and low estrogen. Women are supposed to have balanced estrogen with progesterone, pro-baby hormone. Okay? Progesterone has to be equal, has to be balanced. And there's very few women today, and I mean this because I used to test it in my office all the time. There was very few women that did not have some sign of estrogen dominance. Estrogen dominance is a major factor. What are some of the symptoms? Well, weight gain. Estrogen is a growth hormone. Why do you think in fibrocystic breasts? It's a growth hormone. Estrogen, weight gain. You know, whenever women and men compete, I know I'm farthest thing from woke. I know that. But you know, when women and men, they shouldn't compete in sports or whatever in the same, come on. Isn't our world getting crazy? But anyways, when women and men compete, you know, in your home for in a weight loss contest, I tell you, women and men can eat exactly the same food, exactly the same calories, exactly whatever, and men will lose weight, and women, it's always much more difficult for a woman. Why? A woman is complicated. A woman has hormones a lot of times. Not always, but a lot of times they have hormones that are out of balance. One of them is estrogen dominance. Estrogen is a growth hormone. And estrogen loves fat. And it loves to make fat grow. And then when you have fat, it gives off estrogen. I mean, you can hardly win. So weight gain, PMS, menstrual, fibrocystic breasts, which we talked about, uterine fibroids, fatigue, loss of libido, depression, and anxiety. In men, high estrogen, low testosterone. There's only one way for a man to get high estrogen, and that's if his testosterone is low. Testosterone will knock estrogen out of the body of a male. Okay? Now, why are we seeing so much estrogen today? Why do we see it? Because of, different factors. Estrogen is, xenoestrogens, every chemical known to man, looks like estrogen to your body. If you can't pronounce it, you can't spell it, your body thinks it's estrogen. So why, here we are in 2023, and 1 out of 7 women in North America are going to get breast cancer. And it has very, very little to do with whether you have breast cancer in your family, ladies. It really doesn't matter. It's lifestyle. And we're in estrogen dominance. And then you combine estrogen with insulin. You got a bad combination. And then I always talk about that unholy trinity when it comes to breast cancer. You have estrogen. Oh, doc, my oncologist didn't say that my cells, they did a biopsy and they didn't say that my cancer cells were estrogen receptive. Of course they are. Some are just more receptive than others. Estrogen makes things grow. Insulin makes things grow. Estrogen, xenoestrogens, the environment, plastics, air fresheners. Look at all the air cleaners and look at the fragrance and all these things. Body, underarm deodorant and all. They're all xenoestrogens. Crazy. And then you combine food, insulin, and and insulin resistance. Now things are growing. And then it's always the perfect storm, in my opinion. I did enough history taking over the years with breast cancer that there was almost invariably the third factor, and that was cortisol, stress. Stress pours gasoline on growth. It pours gasoline on it. And, I told you this probably hundreds of times over the years, that you don't get breast cancer in a vacuum. It's because sometimes they had, I remember when, was it Angelina Jolie, had her breasts removed because she had that gene. I said, would someone call her? I said this on my radio show. I'm not kidding. I said, would someone call her and give her my number so I can talk her out of that surgery? You can prevent it. There's prevention. Yeah, like I know genetics, and you have this gene, and you have, that may make you more susceptible. But that doesn't pull the trigger on it. You're going to have your breast removed? It's craziness, in my opinion. I said, someone give her my number and I'll talk to her. I'll try and talk her out of it. There's a protocol to prevent and, watch your food, keep your carbs down, lower your sugars, because then you keep insulin down. That's one. Insulin is a food hormone, so knock that down. It's a growth hormone. Knock it down. Estrogen. Block it. Block any extra estrogen. Lose weight if you can, but block any extra estrogen. And I talk about that all the time, and dimming it out and blocking estrogen. I've shown you this in the past, before and after estrogen scans. Do you know that you can do a scan for estrogen? I used to do it in my office. And it looked like leper spots. Women were shocked. I didn't know I had that. I didn't know I was so dominant in estrogen. I said, yeah, look at it. It's all over your skin, man. And that makes things grow, and you need to lower it, block it. And I could show you before and after, and blocking that estrogen and getting it down. And men need to get it down too for prostate cancer. Now, let me get to the second part of the study here, because they talked about fibrocystic breast as being one huge part of the cancer. Fibrocystic. That's dense breast tissue. Okay? And again, estrogen is what does it. Now, here's another one that they considered. Okay? That contributes to fibrocystic breast tissue. Now, you guys are smart, and I don't know if I've ever even mentioned this on the show. But if someone were to get this answer, okay? Well, I'll be shocked, first of all, because I don't think I've ever, if I have, I wrote an article on this in a nutritional journal, I don't know, quite a while ago. But, okay, what, okay, besides estrogen, okay, besides estrogen, what can cause fibrocystic breast tissue? Okay? Now, I don't think you're going to get it, but if you do, oh, gee, I'm telling you. Okay? Can someone give it a guess? Cortisol, okay? Yeah, well, we already talked about that. High cortisol. Yep. Cortisol pours gasoline. Francis, sugar. I'm not really looking for that. Anybody want to give it a guess? It's something Bonnie, you're so close. You are really, I'm going to give you points. Bonnie said calcium. Yep. Bonnie, I'm shocked that you knew that. Aluminum, Darlene, all good answers. You guys are smart, I'm telling you. And when I say that, I mean it. But calcium. Now, how do you get calcium in your breast, guys? Ladies, how do you get calcium in there? Okay? Somebody, Donna, maybe you tell me. How do you get calcium in breast tissue? Waiting. Hey, waiting. Plants, yep. Annette, yep. Not calcium supplements. They won't go to the breast tissue. Okay? Low vitamin D, yeah, you guys are so stinking smart. Not enough vitamin K2. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys are so smart. But here's one that maybe you haven't thought of. Calcium caused by oxalates. Plants. Oxalates. Spinach. Kale. Salad. Almonds. Almond flour. Oxalates. You guys are too smart. I can't even fool you anymore. Okay? Now, am I telling you not to have any plants? No. I'm just telling you. These are studies done and published in the Journal of American Medical Association, JAMA. Isn't that interesting about oxalates? Because what do you think when you think oxalates? You think kidneys, kidney stones, right? 75% are oxalates. The other 25% are uric acid in the kidneys. Uric acid stones are oxalate stones. But they get, ladies, in your breast tissue. They get in your breast tissue. And they can be dangerous. They cause fibrocystic thickening, density in the breast tissue. That makes you more susceptible to breast cancer. Who knew? Who knew? Interesting, huh? Eh? Interesting, huh? Yeah. Right on the... okay. Now. I didn't even finish yet. Because now I got good news. Okay? I'm reading this study, okay, from the Journal of American Medical Association. It's actually an article. It's an article and a survey that they did. Now, right after that, I flag a study on coffee. You know what coffee gets rid of? Oxalates. So ladies, if you're going to eat your salad, you better be drinking coffee. Coffee decreases oxalates. That's why coffee, one of the reasons, it's so good in kidney function. Don't let anybody tell you not to drink coffee. And that's why it's so good in preventing breast cancer. Coffee, the real vitamin C, guys, the real one. Isn't that interesting? And they came back to back. I saw the JAMA one, I read it, made some notes, and then I right underneath it was a study on coffee and oxalates, and I said, whoopee! Another study confirming coffee as the real vitamin C. It's better than vitamin C, guys. It's got 1,000 phytonutrients. Yep. Why would you not drink coffee? It's so preventative. Okay, so this week we got a great week. We got some great studies. I want to pontificate on a few more this week. Friday is question and answer Friday. And I just want to make one little comment about, you saw an email that we put out about we're just doing some maintenance on our website. Don't ask me. I don't know anything about anything. Okay? Maintenance, inventory, and secondly, we're reformulating. Tony Jr. and I have been working on this part of reformulating some of our products just to make them better, to make them so that we don't run out so much, because sometimes just getting a specific ingredient hasn't been easy, and we want to make it easier. And we sort of rejigged a few things in a few of our formulas. So bear with us, guys, just as we get this down, and we're hoping to be up in another day or so, and everything will be fine, and then we'll have a nice big sale again. Okay, guys, we love you dearly. Thanks for supporting us. We appreciate us. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to ask our staff, okay? Because we got the best staff in the world, right? I think you guys would agree with that. We just are, our staff care for people. They really do. And we're thankful for them. And so if you got any questions at all, don't hesitate, okay? If you want me to look at your blood work, happy to do it. I mean it. Like, don't send me 50 pages. Well, you can, but I'm not going to look at 50 pages. I'm going to look at what I want to look at. I got about 8 things that I look for, okay? So, but I'm happy to read your blood work, okay? Love you guys, and talk to you soon.